Hello all. Okay, let's continue with our session. So in the previous session, we discussed about data objects, work areas, and internal table. So what is a variable? What is a variable?
It holds the single value in the
Yeah,
temporary memory. It will changes at runtime.
program runtime, right? So it can hold a single value, and it will that memory is temporary only during program runtime. Okay. So you need to assign a type and length, right? So that it will hold as per the data type and length. It will create one memory in which layer? Database layer or application layer?
Application level.
Application layer, right? So because we are creating this in the program, not in the database. Okay. So it will create that memory in the application server. And when you are assigning the type and length, right, you should analyze and assign proper type and length. Okay. So we should not provide a variable with unnecessary length. Okay. So you need to analyze that because it will unnecessarily occupy more space during the program runtime. If you provide incorrect length, for example, 10 or 20 programs are executing at the same time, right? All those programs will occupy some memory, right? So whatever the data objects in the other programs, so it will consume memory of the most of the memory of the application server if you don't provide proper length and type. Okay. What is constant?
It holds the single value, but
It's
it
also for
changes.
single
It won't
value.
change.
Yeah, we
Won't
cannot
changes at
change the
runtime.
value of the constant during program runtime. Okay, we cannot change the value. For constant also, we need to assign type of the data, length, and what else we need to assign? Value. This is mandatory. For variable, you don't need to assign a value. You assign value during the program logic, right? You can change the value anytime for variable. But for constant, value is fixed. You cannot change the value during program runtime. So when you are defining the constant, you need to provide the type of the constant, the length of the constant, and value of the constant. What is the value you want to assign for this constant? Okay. Naming conventions. You have to follow some naming conventions. For variable declarations, we use data. Name can be anything. You can give any name, right? But always follow some program guidelines. For example, LV underscore name, type C, length 10. So here name, whatever the word in the lower case, right? We can give any name, right? But always try to follow some naming guidelines so that we can easily identify what type of data object it is. Is it a variable, work area, internal table, or constant? Otherwise, you can give any name. Okay. So constants is the syntax to define the constant. Here also we provide name. You can give any name, but for constants we use separate naming standards. C underscore data sum. Okay. Type C, length 10, and value some value. Okay. Like this you have to define the constant. Okay. What about work area?
It holds the single record.
Yeah. Single record. Record means one or
One
more
more
fields,
fields.
right? It can be only one field or more fields, right? So how to define a work area? Data. Here also we follow some naming standards. Otherwise you can give any name. You can give this name also, LV name. It acts as a work area. Okay. Name is not going to decide. So what type of object it is? Only the syntax decides. Okay. Only the syntax decides is it a variable, constant or work area. Name doesn't matter here. Okay. Type. What is the type we provide? Table or structure names we provide. Okay. Table name or structure name we provide for the reference. Here we have, let's say we have database tables, right? Custom tables, standard tables. You can give any table reference. If the table contains 200 fields, right? Whatever the table you provide here, if the table contains 200 fields, so how many fields you can find in this work area during program runtime? Same 200
200.
fields.
Yes.
Okay, same 200 fields you can find. It will refer the table and create work area with reference to the table. Okay. Sometimes we don't take table reference every time. Sometimes we take structure reference. Structure in the sense, for now just assume collection of fields, collection of required fields. In this in the table you have 200 fields, but all the fields data whatever available in the table you may not use that. You may use only 10 fields or 20 fields data. Okay, for your requirement. So in that case, we should not unnecessarily create a work area with reference to the complete table. Again, it will occupy a lot of memory in the application server, right? So if you need only limited fields, we create a structure. Okay, we create a structure with those required fields of the table. Okay, without creating work area for all the fields in the table. For that, we have two types of structures. We can create a data dictionary structure in SE11, right? Or we can create a local structure in the program. We can create a local structure in the program. What is the syntax to create a local structure? Types. Types begin of ty underscore data. Whatever the words I am typing in lowercase, right? They are user defined. We can give any name, right? But uppercase words are all syntax. You should type the same. Okay. And mention the field names which you want. For example, EMP type. What is the type of employee ID? Go to the table, ZDemo, provide the data element name. Provide the data element name. Or you can also provide instead of data element. If you don't know the data element or if you don't have a data element, provide like this, comma, employee name, type, C, length 10, 10, comma, city. We have a standard data element for city, right? What is that? ORT01 underscore GP, I think. Right? Let's assume I need only these three fields in my work area. I don't want all the fields of the table, comma, end of ty underscore data. Is everyone clear? End of structure name. And define this work area with reference to this name, ty underscore data. This is a local structure name. Okay. Now this work area will create only with the fields of these three fields: employee ID, employee name, and city. So the work area will be like this after defining this. It contains three fields: employee ID, employee name, and city. If you take complete table reference here, instead of local structure name, if you take the database table reference, it will create all the fields what are available in the database table. It will create the work area for that. Okay. What about internal table? Can hold
SD. multiple records, one or more records.
One or more records. Okay. Here also same similar like work area. To define the internal table, we use syntax like data, follow some naming convention to identify it as internal table. Otherwise, you can also use WA underscore data. This also, right? But is it going to create a work area? If you give WA underscore data, what kind of object it is going to create as per this syntax?
Internal table.
Yeah, it's going to create internal table only. Even though you give name as WA, this doesn't matter. Okay. As per this syntax, it will decide what type of object it's going to create. If you provide complete table reference, it will create a internal table with all the fields available in the table. For example, Z demo employee. It will create a internal table with all the fields reference of the table. If you created local type structure like this, types begin of end of, it will create internal table with only those fields which you mentioned here, UI underscore data. Okay. So your internal table will be like this because I have given TY data, right? It can hold one or more records with three fields. Okay. So each record contains three fields. Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
To create internal table or work area with only required fields, not all the fields of the database table. What you need to do? You need to create a type structure. We call this as a type structure. Okay. This is local to the same program. We cannot use this type structure in a different program. Okay. This is local to the same program. Okay. If you create a data dictionary structure, that can be used in all the programs. But this type structure using types begin of end of, this is local to the same program. Okay. Let's create few objects. Let's create a program with the example. This is very important. Everyone should understand the difference between variable, work area, constant, and internal table. So I created a program. Now let's define a variable. How to define a variable? What is the syntax to define a variable? Data, give some name,
Name.
lv underscore value, type C. Okay. Observe carefully, right? lv underscore value. Now what is the expected output?
Character.
Someone added some enhancement to the standard program. That's why it is showing all information messages. If I execute the program, what is the expected output? What it is going to print?
Will be value.
Sorry, what is it? So what is the output? You can see in the output screen. Tell me, all of you. I'm asking everyone. What is the expected output of this program? I've,
Will
I've,
be
def
value, sir.
I've defined a variable and using that variable to print the output. Any others? What is the expected output?
Empty screen, I think.
Empty screen. It's not going to print anything. We just defined a variable. Did we assign any value for this? We just created one empty memory. We just created the memory. There is no value in that, right? We just defined the variable. We did not assign any value, right? Is everyone clear? Whatever the variable we are using here, it's not going to print the technical name. It will print the value inside this variable. Okay? Is everyone clear? How to assign a value to the variable? There are multiple ways. You can assign at the time of defining using a value test. You can assign like this. Let me provide some length for this. 10. What is the expected output? What is the expected output now if I execute the program?
Test.
So it will print test because I have assigned a value, right? At the time of defining itself. This is not mandatory, okay? We don't assign the value at the time of defining all the times, but it's just an additional option we have. Can I change the value of the variable? Value
Yes.
equal to SAP. Now what is the expected output?
SAP.
SAP.
Because I have updated the value of the variable. Execute. Will overwrite the previous value with new value. Okay? Now what is the expected output?
Java.
Java.
Because the previous value will be overwritten with the new value. Okay? Now, there is one statement, please observe. Now, what is the expected output?
Blank screen.
So, clear. So, this clear statement is used to clear the value of the variable. It will clear the value of the variable. Even we use same one to clear the value of the work area also. Okay? It will clear the value. Whatever the value available in the variable, it will clear that value. Okay? Now, if I execute this program, blank, because it's going to clear the value of the variable. Okay? I'll comment this. How about constant? What is the syntax to define a constant? You can pass one more thing I want to let you know. You can pass one variable into another variable. LV underscore. You don't need to use one more data statement. You can use chain operator. LV value 2. I'll assign some length. Type C. You can pass value of one variable to another variable, right? So LV underscore value 2 equal to LV underscore value. Okay, let me print this. What is the expected output? What is the expected output here? Can you tell me?
Test.
Java.
Java.
Java and test, because I've commented this clear statement, right? Okay. So this first variable value I've updated with Java, right? I'm printing it now. But before updating the variable, before updating the LV value variable, I'm passing that LV value to LV value 2. Here in this line, what is the value available in LV value? Test.
Test.
Okay, that one I am copying into variable 2. Okay, it will hold the test. Okay, and then I am updating the variable 1 with the different values. Okay, so you don't need to define it all the time, because in new ABAP syntax you can use a data statement to define the variable data of variable 2. It will automatically define at the time of passing the value. Okay, you don't need to write a separate data statement to define the variable. You can use a new ABAP syntax. We call this as inline declaration. We call this as inline declaration. Okay, this one. You can declare variable when you are passing the value itself. Is everyone clear? Is everyone clear about this? Variables. Let's check constant. Constant. Provide some name. C underscore value. Type C. Value is mandatory here. You should pass some value that is mandatory. Okay. We'll print whatever the value available in a constant. Looks like I did not provide the length for constant. You can use length keyword, or you can also give like this. Okay. Now let me try to change the value of the constant. Observe the code. I'm passing C underscore value to LV value. I'm passing the constant value to variable. I'm trying to update C underscore value equal to, I'm trying to update a new value to the constant. Check the syntax. What it is saying? The field C underscore value cannot be modified. Okay, we cannot update value of the constant. Is everyone clear? Let me try to clear the value of the constant. Clear. What it is saying? Constant cannot be modified. Value cannot be modified. Okay. So you cannot change the constant. Now what is the expected output if I execute this program? Please tell me what is the expected output of this program. What is the expected output?
Constant.
I'm passing constant value to variable 1. Okay? And variable 2, I'm passing variable 1 value. What is the expected output here? Constant, test and constant. Right? Because I'm passing this constant value to the variable, that is this, and this second variable, I'm passing test, this value here, to the second variable, and again printing the constant as it is. Is everyone clear about variables and constants? Please respond. If you have questions, let me know. Okay. Hope all of you clear on this concept. Let's create a work area. How to create a work area? Data, W underscore data, some type. And what is the reference type you have to provide? What is the reference type you have to provide? Table name, or what is the alternative?
Structure.
Structure name. How many fields we have here? 5 fields available in this table. If you create a work area with reference to the database table, so it will create a work area with 5 fields. Okay? Field names are same as it is. Whatever the field names you have available in the table name, it will create work area with same field names. Okay? Now, how to populate the data for work area? So work area contains one field or multiple fields? Is it going to contain one field or multiple fields?
Multiple fields.
Multiple fields. How to pass the data to work area? W underscore data equal to 100. What is this 100? Let's assume it is as employee ID. Since there are multiple fields in the work area, to which field this value should be assigned? Are we saying that? Are we saying to which field we need to assign this value? No, right? We are not defining it. So what is this 100? Simply employee ID hyphen employee ID hyphen employee ID equal to 100. Now we are defining to which work area field we need to pass this value, right? Like that, provide field name using hyphen for each field to pass the value, employee name, provide some name, because it's character type data, right? That's why I'm using single quotes. 100. You can also pass a variable value to work area just like this. Instead of this, you can also, instead of hard coding, you can pass any variable value to work area like this. But only thing is, you need to check the type. What type of data is employee name and what type of data is this variable? Okay. So you should make sure the conversion will accept. Like, so we cannot pass character type data to numeric fields, right? So you need to check the data type of the work area field before passing it. Okay. Otherwise, you can pass variable values to work area like this. What are the other fields? Control Y, drag and copy. You can use Control Y to copy all the fields at once. What T01. Again, you can pass some hard-coded value or phone. It is not necessary to populate all the fields of the work area. Okay, whatever required you can populate. Even though there are 5 fields, it is not necessary to populate all the fields data. What type of data it is? Phone number, numeric type, right? Num-C. You don't need to provide single quotes for this number type. Email ID, pass email ID equal to now how to print the data of the work area. You can use individual fields using hyphen, whatever the fields you want to print. If you don't want to print all the fields of the work area, mention field names here one by one. Work area name hyphen field name. But if you want to print all the fields, provide the complete work area name here. Okay. Okay. So if you want to print the complete work area, so you don't need to. So if you want to print the complete work area, you don't need to provide field name hyphen work area hyphen field name here like this. Okay. But if you want to print only the required fields, even though you populated all the fields, but you want to print only limited fields in the output, then you need to use hyphen field name. Okay. Check the syntax, activate, print it, right? Or to make it clear, I'll print the work area values in the next line. How to make it to print in the next line? Use slash backslash. Execute. So this is the work area record. Okay. But if you don't want to print all the fields, what you need to do? Provide only the fields which you want to print. Here, comma, comma, email ID. I want only this data. I don't need to use the complete work area name in the right statement. Use field names hyphen field work area name hyphen field name. Execute. So it will print only these 3 fields data. Okay. How to clear the work area? Using clear statement. Clear WA underscore data. So when you are writing the program, right? So we need to clear work areas very often. Very frequently we create work areas. Okay. Is everyone clear? This will clear the data available in the work area. Whatever the data available in the work area. Okay. Always it is recommended to clear work area every time before going to populate a new value. Like this. Clear the work area and populate the new value. Okay. And we can use inline declaration. We can also use inline declarations to define the work areas. How to do that? For example, if you want to define a new work area, data of WA underscore data 2 equal to the existing work area name. So it will create a work area with the same fields, same type as this first work area. Okay. We can define work area using the inline declaration like this. This is called inline declaration. We can create one more work area. Okay. So execute the program. So this is the first work area record and this one is the second work area record. Okay. Is everyone clear? If you want to define, if you don't want all the fields of the table, if you want only limited fields of the table, what you need to do? Instead of this, you need to create a type structure. Types begin of some name, provide some meaningful name, ty underscore data. This name can be anything. Okay. This black color text, whatever you can see, this name can be anything, but always try to give some relevant name. Provide field name can be anything. It is not necessary to take same field as a database table. Okay. It is not necessary to take same field as database table. You can take any name. But make sure you are taking proper data element or data type. It is not necessary to take data element. You can take direct to data type like character type C length, assign some length. Okay. I can take e name, but in the table it is like employee name, but here I am just taking e name and I am taking the actual data element available in the table. Okay. And I just want email type whatever the data element available in the table. If data element is not available, you can assign like this C, type C, length some 20. You can also assign like this if there is no proper data element available. Okay. I just need only these three fields, end of ty underscore data. Now what is the, for work area declaration, what is the name you need to provide in the reference type? Instead of database table, provide ty underscore data. Okay. Clear? Now check the syntax. It is saying syntax errors. Why? The data object WA data, the data object work area name does not have a component called employee name. Why it is saying there is no value called employee name? Because we have taken a different field name here, e name, right? So change this. You can also take same name, whatever available in the table, but just to show some difference, I am taking that as e name. Check the syntax. What is the next error? Line number 26. The data object work area does not have a component called ORT01 because we did not take city name here, right? So we cannot use this. Check the syntax. Phone number is also not available. Comment it because we are not using phone number. Here also it is showing error. We need to take e name. Right? To correct the error, we need to take e name. All the errors are fixed. Activate and execute the program now. So it will display the output. Okay. This is how you can take local type structure. This is called type structure. We can define it in the program level to define work area or internal table with only required fields. Okay. It is not necessary to have all these fields in the database tables. You can take whatever the field name you want and whatever the type you want. Okay. It is not related to database. Okay. Is everyone clear? Is everyone clear on this? Please try to practice variable, constant, and work area. The next session we'll see internal table. Okay, and how we can process the records using work area. Okay.